Hey everybody, welcome to the 2-acre farm. And today I'm going to take you on a tour because a lot of people say, how do you do all that on 2 acres? So we're going to show you what we have going on. We're actually taking a calmer year this year compared to last year because we raised so much meat. So come on along, I'll take you on a tour. This is the back of the house and we don't have bees at present, but I have a hive and we've been trying to lure some in, no luck to date. We've got our compost bins, and then over there are the 2 gardens that we grew garlic and onions in. So let me take you for a closer look. There's where the garlic was and the rhubarb that we harvested, and this is where we had the onions. Here's the front of the house, and in the front of the house we have gardens ahead of me. And we also have the strawberry bed, and over there we have the mobile greenhouse, and then all the rest of the animals are over there and straight ahead. So down there we have our meat birds and our 3 pastures, and I'll show you that. But we're going to go right straight ahead to the side garden. Here we have the garden on the side of the house. This was here when we bought the house. It's similar to a raised bed. It's just very shallow. And they have this thick black rubber that is underneath the dirt, which holds moisture. And that's the garden, and this is hail protection, hail netting. Over here, we have our 3rd greenhouse, recent marketplace buy. And I'll show you inside. So I had put this over the garden when we got it. So the plants were already here, so I had to position it strategically, and it's right over the pole cucumbers there. So we will see if we'll get some. Next year we'll put it in a lot better and more permanently. Overall, it was a neat purchase because it was 10 by 20. It comes with all this shelving that can go in it. So this is greenhouse number 3. Let's go take a tour of the rest of the property. So straight ahead, we have our baby grow out coop, and I will be putting 4 French black copper Morans in there later tonight or tomorrow. And over here, we have our main laying flock. The back part of the coop is 10 by 10. And then we have that front part, which is an indoor run. And then they have an outdoor run. They do free range. I usually let them out in the afternoon when they're done laying. And we have 1 rooster. We have about over 40 chickens right now. Way too many. Over here we have the original greenhouse, which is number 1, and our bourbon red turkeys. And they have a coop and a run, and they're starting to do some molting, which is why all the feathers are there. Here is greenhouse number 1. We've got raised beds in there. So we've got some Romas, some purple Cherokees, some black strawberry tomatoes in the back. And that's a chili and a poblano, which I don't think are going to make it for this year. Over here, we have our middle grow out coop, and that is on the back of this building. This here is a utility building. We have a lot of supplies in here, as well as the turkey feed. And when you come around the back, that is the middle grow out coop. We have it open right now because we just took our meat birds out of there, and we're letting it air out before I go in and clean it out. Coming back over here, I have noisy turkeys, but we have Eleanor is in her farrowing barn with her babies. And they're out grazing for the day. There's another baby all the way over there. They love sleeping in the grass. And so she has net fencing that we can move so that way she is able to graze with them. We have not trimmed down the grass around the edge, and the reason why is the piglets try to get out. So with the grass up, they have not tried to get out. So once they get large enough and we know they can't get through the fence, we will definitely be cutting all that down and moving it out so Eleanor can eat it. There's Eleanor. And yes, my water is dirty. Don't get mad. It's because Eleanor likes to stand in it and rub her face in it, so it's muddy every 5 minutes. But she gets fresh water every day, twice a day. And the piglets have a water inside they can reach. Over here, that's the back part of Eleanor's area, and there's Norman. He's currently hanging out where we keep the boars in the winter. Hi, Norman. Hi, buddy. And he has this whole pasture here. And then here is the barn we usually keep both girls in the winter. And there's Fiona with her babies in the pasture. And they too graze all day long, and then we let them back in at night and we close that gate that's straight ahead of you. These guys are a noisy bunch. They make noise all day long. So let's go down and check out the back part. So we're heading down to the back now. So here's a good example of rotational grazing. This grass was probably as tall as that grass when we put the net fencing up, and the boys have done a great job eating it up. We have also left it a little bit longer, but I'd say they've been on it for about a month. We've left it a little bit longer, and the reason why is because they were fed tons of corn husks and silks. And we also let them go in one of the pens here, or both of the pens. So that way they were able to eat that down, and I'll show you that now. This right here was our pheasant pen from last year. We can use it for any sort of animals, and it works out really well. There's our two boars, Sherman on the left, Grant on the right. I'm not going to go in there with them right now. But there are our meat birds in this pen. And I'll step over here so you can see that a little better. So they've got a shelter, food and water, and they're doing really well. Easy on that gate, buddy. But this is the boys' pasture, and so they get locked in here at night, but then they're let out to roam during the day. They are able to get out right now. This is the fence that is not open. However, that's the gate up there that's open. They just ran down to see me when I came by. You can see we still have plenty of property to put them out on. And so what we're going to be doing is picking up the fence tonight once they're locked in, and then moving the fence all the way over here. So that way they can graze this all down. Over here is the back part of Norman's pasture. And there he is. And that over there is Fiona's pasture. So they've got plenty of room to move around. Here's the brooder in the garage, and we have 4 French black copper Morans, like I said, that will be going out. So we've cleaned this area up a lot and got rid of the stuff we absolutely knew we would not need. But these are all things that we are hanging on to because we were able to obtain free, and we feel that they will be used at some point. There's some of our paneling from the greenhouse, and we're often using tires for pig waterers. Over here we have our tractor, some more stuff that we are holding on to, as well as some extra gates. And that is our gravity fed water system. And we have it on the top of the truck, and we drain it. It stays cooler in that greener tank, and then we drain some down each day, and then we haul in water whenever we need it. So that is a livestock trailer that we store our hay in. And I forgot to mention that this is greenhouse number 2, and I wanted to show you what it looks like inside. So this is all container growing. And over there, we have more container growing and some bushes. A couple things that I forgot to mention earlier are, I talked about the rotational grazing. And so one of the things that we do is we typically do not mow our lawn. Now this year has been pretty abundant with rain. And so for August, this is incredibly green. This is spring green for us. But what we usually do is we have the pigs all the way up to the house if needed, except for this one swath here. So that's pretty much all we mow. Otherwise, we just keep moving fences around for the pigs because there is a lot of grass in the back, and in their pastures, they're doing just fine. So that really works well for us. And it also takes the burden of having to mow lawn off of you. So it's really good. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. That's a tour of our 2-acre farm. And it's always changing. I think the biggest points to point out is if you're dealing with small land, you need to be efficient. You need to use your land wisely. You need to have multiple purpose areas for animals. So for example, the meat pens can house piglets if needed. And that's really important because you're able to meet the needs of your farm. And that changes all the time. I think the other thing is watching how it's set up and, where is the house in relation to the land? So obviously our house is on one side of 2 acres. The rest is in the front of us, and that gives us a lot of room to be able to do things. Just keep in mind, there's really so many things you can do. And at the end of this video, I'm going to put a book that can be really helpful for you. So thanks for coming along for the tour, and have a great day. Take care.